Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today we're going to be looking at mono green Nykthos and how to sideboard with it against the top 10 most popular decks in Pioneer. Now, if you want to learn more about the deck, I did a deck tech with it last week. You should definitely check that out. But without further ado, let's jump right in. This is my mono green Nykthos deck. It is pretty straightforward and stock, but I want to talk about what the cards in the sideboard are for. Elishnorn we are bringing in against most of the decks that have things that enter the battlefield that we care about, like the mirror match and whatever. You might be noticing that Elishnorn is off color, it's white, but we have a lot of ways to be able to play Elishnorn. One is Sunken Citadel named white. Two, Outcaster Trailblazer can just create a white colored mana. We also have Leyline of the Guild Pact that if it's on the battlefield, we can just make white. With our lands. So there's a lot of ways. Oh, and Storm the Festival can just grab Elishnorn. So there's a lot of ways that we can just have Elishnorn in the battlefield. I'm not really worried about it being off color, especially since there's only one. But again, it's for those decks that care about other things that enter the battlefield. Pick your poison when there's flying artifacts or enchantments that we care about. Scrap Shooter is a really good against artifacts and enchantments. It's also a decent beater and well-costed beater with green pips for when we need to bring out a lot of a certain card. Cetessan Petitioner is really good against all the aggro decks that are running around. Arasta of the Endless Reb is mostly for Phoenix, but really if there's flyers that we care about, especially if there's a lot of instant sorceries, or really any instant sorcery deck that doesn't run board wipes. The Stone Brain is for combo decks. Unlicensed Hearths are Graveyard Hate, and Cityscape Leveler and Emrakul are for decks where we really need to go over the top, and decks where it's really unlikely for us to combo, and we just need some really powerful cards in our deck. That being said, a lot of the cards in our sideboard are hyper specialized because we are a really dedicated combo deck and we don't want to dilute our deck too much, so we aren't going to be boarding in most matchups. By the way, if you hear any children screaming, my kids are playing on the trampoline right outside my window. They decided to go out right when I clicked record because that's my life. But the most popular deck in Pioneer is the Rakdos aggro deck, the Callous Sellsword Fling deck, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, we're bringing in our Cetessan Petitioner, and really, I'm just all about the blockers. So I actually really like Arasta, and I really like Scrap Shooter, just being able to block all the creatures in our opponent's deck and the flyers, in general. As far as cards that we're siding out, I do want us to notice that we are most of the time either going to be bringing out our consistency, so our invasions and our oaths, or our mana ramp, so in our elves. Sometimes it'll be a little bit of both. Sometimes, it'll be both of these plus an Ulvenwald Oddity or something like that. But most of the time it's going to be one or the other. It's really important for us to get out really fast against aggro, so we're going to be bringing out some of our consistency, or really all of our consistency, and then just a single Ulvenwald Oddity. Because if we're comboing really hard and really shutting our opponents down, I'm okay with shaving one of them. They can't really interact with, taking one out of our deck or whatever. So this is how I sideboard against Rakdos aggro. The second most popular deck is It Phoenix. Against Is It Phoenix, I'm a fan of Arasta. They kind of let us go really wide. In that case, and I like Unlicensed Hearths, and I like splitting what we take out. We're going to take out 2 elves, and then we're going to take out an Oath of Nissa and an Invasion. So that's how I sideboard against Phoenix. Against Blue-White Control, we're bringing in Stonebrain, mostly for the board wipes, and bringing in Cityscape Leveler and Emrakul. And I like bringing out 3 elves and an Oath of Nissa. I really like Invasion against this deck as far as consistency goes, but this is how I sideboard against Blue-White Control. The fourth most popular deck is Jund Sacrifice. Now, normally I'd like Pick Your Poison against this deck, but they have so many artifact tokens, you can rarely ever snipe a Cauldron. However, Scrap Shooter takes that out. And then we're going to be bringing out 2 of the elves. It takes them a little bit to set up, and we're just the better combo deck. And so this is how I sideboard against Jund Sac. Next up is Selesnya Angels. We're going to be bringing in the Elishnorn because it just neuters the deck entirely. Pick Your Poison takes out flyers, and then Scrap Shooter and Arasta buys us some time against this deck. And then I'm just going to be bringing out consistency. I'm not a huge fan of Old Growth Troll, so I'm actually going to be shaving on Old Growth Troll as well. And we're just trying to combo as fast as possible, so I sideboard against Angels. The sixth most popular deck is Rakdos Midrange, and I just say no changes against Rakdos Midrange. Our main plan is already very good against them, and really the way that we win is either having hard to answer threats or just comboing them, so no changes. Against the Gruul prowessy deck. We're going to be sideboarding really similar to the red-black deck. We're bringing in scrap shooter, not trawler. The Petitioner and a Rasta mostly as blockers. And then we're going to be bringing out our Consistency and a single elf, so sideboard against Gruul aggro. The 8th most popular deck is the Mirror Match. Elesh Norn is excellent in the Mirror Match. Unfortunately, I think we have to bring in Pick Your Poison just so we have an answer to our opponent's nut hands with Leyline. The Stormbrain is very good if we can say Nykthos, and otherwise we're just trying to combo as fast as possible against our opponents. That being said, I'm okay with bringing out the Consistency and just like going balls to the wall. Sideboard in the Mirror Match. The 9th most popular deck is Boros Convoke. I'm a fan of Elesh Norn against this deck. It neuters a lot of the deck. And then we just want to make sure that we have enough blockers and life gain and whatnot to be able to do the thing, take out some Consistency like Shaven and Oddity, and we're just going to shave one elf, and this is how I sideboard against Boros Convoke. And then the last deck is Hidden Strings. Against the Hidden Strings deck, we're bringing in Stonebrain. I'm actually a fan of Pick Your Poison, mostly because a lot of the versions are playing Strict Proctor now, but also are playing 9 lives, and 9 lives is very, very good against us, and making them sacrifice that enchantment is excellent. Otherwise, we just got to combo as fast as possible, which means we're going to be bringing out some level of consistency. And so sideboard against Hidden Strings. But there you have had a sideboard against the top 10 most popular decks in Pioneer with Mono Green, which is an excellent deck. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Check me out on social medias. Links are above me and in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.